Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of One Round Left. My name is Chase and today in front of me I've got a FAL kit build, specifically a clone of the STG-58. Now I know everyone's familiar with the FAL pattern to some extent. It was one of the most fielded rifles in NATO history. It's also known as the right arm of the free world. It's famously chambered in the 7.62x51 NATO cartridge. It was developed by Fabrique Nationale in the late 1940s and being adopted by the Belgian military in the early 1950s. This rifle has went on to see service in several nations. This is a semi-automatic converted version from a kit build that was imported into the United States. So we'll begin with the review by first checking and making sure that the weapon is empty. With your FAL, you're going to have a paddle magazine release here on the back, very similar to an AK. Just press down, magazine comes out. This is a metric pattern magazine. The way you can tell is it has this little lip on it. The inch patterns have more of a square shape on the front. That's just a quick way, if you're at a gun show or somewhere, how you can tell which mag is right for you. Gonna set the mag aside, gonna pull the bolt back. You can obviously tell there's nothing in the chamber, so we can continue. The FAL was a project that was designed off of the FN-49. It was basically NATO looking for a new battle rifle for the Cold War. It basically came from a need for a weapon in an agreed upon caliber that was box fed and had fully automatic and semi-automatic capability. We all know how that went with the NATO trials. NATO ended up adopting 7.62 by NATO, and then shortly after that going back on it with 5.56. So with the FAL, it's got a few unique features that most rifles today don't even have. So we'll start from the muzzle and work our way all the way back. At the front, this is just a standard muzzle brake, nothing crazy, just a flash hider. It doesn't help relieve the muzzle climb or anything. Right here, these little notches are where your bipod hooks up to it. I've taken the bipod off of this model because since the barrel is so short, I just haven't had a need for a bipod on a short rifle. I mean, a 20-inch M16 is a larger rifle than this. It's got a metal handguard, which is very custom for the STG-58 Austria rifles. Your front sight post is protected by your standard hood. It's just a blade front. Now here's one thing that makes the FAL unique amongst other rifles is that it has adjustable gas settings. So if your gun is dirty and you can't readily clean it, or if you're shooting a different ammunition that you just found, let's say if you're shooting Lithuanian ammo and then you're having to swap over to shoot Pakistani and it's not shooting right, it's not cycling right, you can find your gas setting on this rifle to see which is the best for the gun. We're going to move on down the handguard. We have our carry handle, and it swivels all the way on the top sides. Close it back down. FALs are unique for having a left-sided charging handle, which is great for right-handed shooters. I honestly wish that this feature was on more rifles today. Another thing about the FAL is it has a last round bolt hold open. This little hook that is right here underneath, if you can see it, the magazine paddle, it's right here. You can pull your bolt back and you push up on it, it'll lock it in, and there you go. So when you put your next magazine in, you can just push down, bolt goes home, feeds the next round, you're ready to go. Moving on to the pistol grip, it's a very angular pistol grip. I actually do like it. It really sucks your hand up into the rifle. The trigger on this is nothing really to write home about. It's just a standard mil-spec trigger, you know. It comes in two-stage, brake. It's definitely a trigger that was made for a soldier to intentionally want to shoot it. Coming back to our sights, it is a ramp style with adjustable settings. With the base here being 200 meters, it has 300, 4 all the way up to 6. Moving back to the stock, it has your classic black paint, just all weather. So that way this thing can go in jungles, deserts, urban environments, and it'll handle just fine. Rubber recoil pad up here. No cleaning kit in the stock of this model. Swapping the rifle over to the other side, you can see our takedown lever, also our selector switch. Currently the rifle is in fire. You would push it up for safe, down for fire, and if it was fully automatic, swaps over to the auto setting. Moving on to the rifle, we can tell that this was a kit build, definitely, because it is non-matching. None of the serial numbers on this rifle match. I bought this about maybe 6 years ago now, 7 years ago now, and I've been shooting it a lot, not as much as I'd like to. It shoots well up to 300 yards. That's the farthest I can shoot at the range that I go to, but it does a great job. It's a workhorse, and it gets a lot of attention at the range. So we talked about the rifle and a little bit about its history. Let's go ahead and break it down. So what I'm going to do is this lever here, the takedown lever that I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to pull back on it. And as you notice, there's a hinge pin right here that separates the receiver from the trigger pack and the stock. You can slide your dust cover off. We'll sit that down. And you can pull your bolt back. And it comes out. FALs are very easy to service and clean and maintain. They're not very picky rifles when it comes to ammunition anyways. I mean, I haven't really had this one choke on anything. I've shot Russian steel case through it, Hertenberger ammunition, Federal loads. Nothing really has made this rifle not perform. So I really think that the gas setting was more of a extreme, combat scenario, not something I'm going to push it through at my local range. So we've taken the bolt out. We can also, if we were going to further strip the gun down, we can take out the gas piston. So there's a lever here on the front of this particular model. You press in, rotate it. It comes out. Now you need to hold pressure on it because your gas piston is going to be pushing against it. There's a recoil spring inside here that keeps that in here. This rifle actually needs a good cleaning because that spring should fall right out, which, as you can tell, I just got my hand dirty on this, but oh well. So this would be the rifle fully stripped down for cleaning. This is not considered a full takedown, just a field strip, but simple enough. We can put it back together, just doing the reverse of what I said. And as you notice, the spring is pushing back on that. Push up on your lever, rotate it back, and your gas system is put back together. Again, pull back on your takedown lever. It will hinge. We can drop in our bolt. It will go all the way home like that. You may need to assist the front of the bolt head on carrying its way through the receiver. Dust cover, it's got these little lips that connect to the top. Line those up, slide this in. Make sure this is flush, because if it's not, if it is the slightest amount to the rear, when you close this, if you do it with force, it will actually kick off. It can damage your dust cover, damage the rifle. So just make sure that it's all the way flush when you close it. All right, it's a rifle again. So I always wanted an FAL. I ended up picking this one up and I've never looked back. However, FAL imports are not really a thing anymore in the United States. Really the only company that you can buy from is DSA. They're a very reputable manufacturer. Grand Thumb has done several videos about their rifles. So if you are looking at an FAL, I do recommend those, unless you're looking for a kit build like this one or an early import. But remember, if you are looking at a parts gun, not all builds are created equal. If you can shoot the gun, I recommend it. If you can break it down, I recommend that even more. This rifle to me has been great. I have no complaints. Well, the only complaint is that I haven't shot enough. I really want to take this rifle out more. Hopefully the ammo situation will improve sometime, so I can do so. I'd like to thank everyone again for sticking with me. I know I've been uploading at very inconsistent times, and I still am able to get people to come back and watch. So for the returning viewers, thank you so much. And for the viewers who are just tuning in for the first time, thank you so much. I really didn't think that the channel would even get as far as it has. I just topped over 215 subscribers today, and I didn't think I'd make it past my family and friends. So I just want everyone to know that really does mean a lot to me. And I've got a lot of guns that I can do future review on. My next gun is going to be a bolt gun. You can drop a comment below on what you think it will be. I will give it a hint, it is military surplus, obviously. So, with that being said, it's Friday. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.